Apologies for not being able to do a live transfer window again, but as you're watching this video right now, I'm currently sat in a Birmingham barbecue restaurant with a few other Football Manager content creators who have joined me at the Football Manager World Esports Championship at Insomnia 62 this weekend. That's a mouthful. Basically, I'm at Insomnia, so I've recorded this in advance, hence I couldn't stream it without spoilers. New season! Hello and welcome to part 73 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're going to have a look through our enormous pile of summer transfers again. A brief look, don't worry. And then we are going to play our first game in League One against Plymouth. Tell you what, the most exciting thing, even more exciting than being in League One, look, we've got a positive bank balance for the first time in at least 5 seasons. The projection's still terrifying, but not as terrifying as it has been. I'm not sure how many season tickets we've sold for this summer. Shall we have a little look? We've sold 907 season tickets. The media are predicting a 23rd place finish. I can't remember what the board expectations are. I'm still only on favoured personnel, although Dan Fisher has made it into icons, but he's no Livesey Mason, who is now at Margate. Livesey Mason's found a club. For all those of you who said he was good enough for the league, I'm surprised he's gone to the Conference South, but he'll score a ton of goals in that league. Let's have a look what the board are expecting from me this season. Competition performance. League One. Minimum expectation is the team will fight bravely against relegation from League One this season. So we can get relegated and not get sacked. I'm currently untouchable, yet only favoured personnel, but we can get relegated this season and still not get sacked, which is handy because this has been a challenging transfer window. We're going to start with, as ever, the players who've left the club, and there are some big names who've left, and most of them I don't want to have left, but we couldn't really afford to keep, or they wouldn't renew terms with us. So we're starting to see a lot of our youngsters disappear off to bigger and better clubs. And that's because I'm leaving it very late to offer them new deals. And I don't know if that's potentially a mistake. So all of these players weren't actually released. These are players who've been signed by other clubs while we were trying to keep the majority of them. We wanted to keep Webster for sure because Shaquille Webster scored a load of goals in the National League last year. It would have been nice to give him a try, but no, he's gone to Hamilton. Most of these we're not that familiar with, but Aidan Chambers-Shaw was a regular 2 years ago and has just started to break back into the team again last year, but he's gone to Middlesbrough in the Premier League and is now worth £725,000. Connor Coyd's gone to Bristol City, and then there's a few of, bottom line, we didn't want to let all those go. But also we had trouble with players not wanting to renew contracts. Sedwin Scott would not discuss a contract, just absolutely refused. As far as he's concerned, I broke too many promises to him over his 6 years at the club. And it all stems back to that year when we were I think it was in the National League, when I promised him we'd get promoted. And he then got in a sulk when we finished in the playoffs and didn't stop sulking even when we won them. So right from that moment there, he's always refused to discuss a new contract, and now he's left. It's a shame. I would have liked to have kept him. Peter Taylor didn't want to discuss a new contract, probably because he barely played last year. That's fair enough. Bobby Joe Worrell-Bristow would not discuss a new contract, wanted far more money than we could possibly offer. Nyron Hurd is another one who we just couldn't afford to keep. He wanted like $1,500 a week, and he wasn't a regular for us last year. Mike Payne wanted a big pay rise. Is there any other big names on here? Fernando Sampson, despite having his 10 under-20 caps for Argentina and winning stuff with Argentina, I think, won the Campeonato Sudamerica Sub-17 with Argentina under-20s, but has now been released by Nuneaton. That's his career just about over. Owen Hibbert was released as well. And is there any other big names? You can see how many players we've let go. That shows how many we signed, because that's how many we've let go. Signings that we've brought in this summer, there's nothing major. Anyone who follows me on Twitter will know the Robbie Nadat saga that we had over the summer. Basically, where is he? We have signed him permanently. I can't actually see him. Robbie? There he is. So Robbie Nadat has signed permanently, but he wanted £1,000 a week. So while he was still here on loan at the end, before the season ticked over and he went back to Villa, I offered him a pre-contract on £1,000. No, he wanted £1,000 a week. I only wanted to pay him the £500 a week he was currently getting at Villa. We couldn't agree. We ended up falling out a little bit, so I asked my director of football to step in, and the director of football agreed a contract with him on £4,200 a week. So obviously I then stepped in and said, no, thank you, had resigned myself to not signing him, and then it got about a week into the transfer window, and finally he'd agreed terms with me again. And not only that, but he agreed terms on the £525 that I wanted to pay him initially. So we've got Robbie Nadat permanently. We haven't been able to find anyone better. He is going to be our first choice goalkeeper again for the coming season. We weren't able to sign Darwent. We tried to sign him permanently, and he just wouldn't even discuss terms with us because we weren't big enough for him. So he's gone to Bradford in our league. And also Skelton, he is here until the end of this season because we arranged that this time last year. But we can't now take him for a further season. So this is going to be his last year at the club unless we get promoted, because he's a bit special and Man United want him to play with better players. So this will be the last season we see Andrew Skelton, unless he leads us to a really unlikely promotion. Aside from that, it's the usual, just bringing in lots and lots of kids. We'll introduce you to them as they break into the team. Not many of them are breaking in initially. We have got an absolute ton of wage budget left. We're pretty much paying the same in wages now as we were last season. So we've got £10,000 to play with. I'm just not finding any players that are significantly better than what we've got. So I'm not going to pay people £3,000 or £4,000 a week. I know we're in League One now, and that's what players are going to want, but I'm quite proud of that. I've changed, but I'm proud of that, and I don't want to wreck the wage structure and the transfer policy we've got at the club. So we'll see how the first few games go, and if we need to bring in some Championship rejects for £3,000 a week, then so be it. But this is the team that we're putting out there for our first day of the new season. First day in League One. Nuneaton Town are in League One, everybody. Oh, and one other thing. Joe Anderson sometimes gets a little bit of stick for not being good enough for our team. Firstly, 7.06 was his average last season. That's pretty good. But secondly, more importantly, he was named in the 2026 Sky Bet League 2 Players Select. He was in the League 2 Team of the Season. He was the best left back in League 2 last year. He is good enough, and he's still our captain. And this is probably going to be the year that he breaks Sir Tom Elliott's appearance record. So Tom is still at the club. He's unhappy. He wants game time. He ain't going to get it. But, hold on, not managers, records. So Sir Tom Elliott's record is 315 league appearances for us. Joe Anderson is currently on 286. So if he plays every game again this season, he will break the record this season. If he doesn't play every game, it suggests he's been replaced and he might never break it, and Sir Tom's record will live on. So this is our team for the first day of the new season. Just one new player in the first 11. So it's Nadat in goal. A back four of Anderson, Laskowski, Sawyer. Oh no, two new players, because Nemandi Ibrahim is a new right back that we've signed. He's come in from Tottenham, I think. Came in from Tottenham. He's got 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. So we're going to give him his debut, mainly because we've lost Bobby Joe Worrell-Bristow. I like the fact as well that he's natural at wing-back. It's not something I'm going to use straight away, but Anderson's a very attacking fullback as well, and I like having very attacking fullbacks. Then in midfield, we've got Squire Bill, new boy Graham White, who's a 23-year-old former Irish under-21 international, 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He came in on a free from Liverpool. We broke our normal youngster wage structure for him because he's 23. I know he's never played a game for anybody, which is weird. I don't know why they've never loaned him out. But because he's a little bit older, I don't mind paying him a little bit more, because in theory, he should be good enough to come straight into the side. So that's what he's done. Skelton is going to be in midfield with those two. And then Ball in behind McDonald and Fisher. It's going to be very interesting to see if Dan Fisher and Josh McDonald can make the step up again. Because remember, this is our strike partnership that we had down in... I thought this was the strike partnership we had in the National League. Oh, no, it's not, is it? Ignore me. They don't need to make a step up again. We signed them both because they were good for other teams in the National League. I remember we just basically took the two best strikers in the National League and put them together. On that basis, we should have signed Alex Babos from Fylde, who was the best striker in League Two last year with 39 goals. But we have got the two second best in Fisher and McDonald, so we've kind of done the same thing again. I'd like to think they can make the step up. On the bench, a couple of new players. Elsid Skeet is an 18-year-old Barbadian goalkeeper, 1.5-star current ability, so not good enough yet, but he does have 5-star potential. He might eventually force his way past Robbie Nadat in goal. He came in from Arsenal. New Omar is back at the club and back on the bench. He's 20 now, still has 5-star potential now, and currently 3-star ability. He's had a couple of seasons out on loan in the National League. I was very impressed with him, if you remember, a couple of years ago when he first broke into our team before he went on loan to Wealdstone. He's going to get opportunities this year. And also Clinton Reynolds is a 19-year-old Jamaican striker who we had last summer, and he spent last season on loan to Grantham. Wasn't very impressive there, but, you know, we've not got much in the way of strikers, so that's a problem. We haven't brought in any loans yet. I am scouting a few potential loanees, but despite trying to send my scouts out to bring some loans in fairly early on in the summer, because they're not playing in pre-season friendlies, I guess, we're not really getting the scout reports back. So hopefully before the next episode, there'll be some loanees coming in. I'm thinking I probably need another striker. I don't think Fisher and McDonald... I mean, we haven't got Cedwyn Scott behind them anymore. So if one of them gets injured, we have serious problems, because the next best option is the guy who got 4 goals for Grantham last year. So we need at least one striker in on loan. I'm thinking maybe another midfield player to replace Darwin, because as good as this lad from Liverpool, White, might be, we don't know if he's going to be any good yet. He's no Miles Darwin, so we've weakened our midfield, we've weakened our backup striker option. I think, and you lot won't like it, but I think in goal and the back four, we're pretty much set. I think Robbie Nadat's fine. He's got bags of potential. The scout reports in the summer, you know, you get the little number out of 100. His was like 88. So, you know, he's a good goalkeeper. He's got loads of potential. He might not be fulfilling it, but we know him. That's the important thing. And, I mean, you could argue he might have done a little bit better there, but it wouldn't be back in the Boro without Robbie Nadat in goal. He's still going to be keeping goal for us when we win the Champions League, and you lot will love him by then. He'll win you over eventually. Fisher with the cross. Doesn't find a blue shirt, but there's Squire Bill to Skelton to Fisher again. McDonald is there, and straight at the keeper. Not really what you'd expect from McDonald. Robbie Nadat was not looking the right way just moments before he took that goal kick. It was like he was having a chat with someone behind the goal. I love him. He's a brilliant, brilliant human being. Right, we need to find a route back into this game. We've not been particularly impressive so far. That shot from McDonald was straight at the keeper is the only shot on target we've had in the game so far. But here's Dan Fisher. Can he cut it at this level? He's won himself a penalty, I think. He has. He still knows how to win a penalty. That man can dive. Dives like an absolute hero. Is this Skelton? It is. And Skelton misses. It's saved by the, I don't even know who we're playing, Plymouth keeper. And I really hope it's not going to be one of those years. Skelton now with the corner. McDonald down to White, and that's a massive miss. We're being mugged now. We've actually woken up a little bit towards the end of this first half. And I feel a little bit hard done by that we're not at least level going into half-time. And I've just realised, of course, that we're now in a league that has my beloved Posh in it. So we're going to come up against Posh at some point this season. Cambridge are in there as well. Is Northampton around too, or were they down at the... They must have been down in League 2 with us. They can't be in the Championship, surely. There's some big games for Kev this season. But I'm not going to enjoy them very much if we're as rubbish as we appear to have been so far. We don't have the money to go and buy League One quality players. I know that like 6 or 7 of this squad were with us when we were in the conference. Certainly, almost the entire defence we signed when we were in non-league, and they're still playing for us now. James Ball, that's a worry. He doesn't look any good. Blackford, Fisher has. I mean, let's bring on Mr. 4 goals for Grantham. Graham White hasn't been great. Let's bring on New Omar, and I don't know. Do they want to swap over? No, they don't. Let's see if that combination is any better. The one thing we've got going in our favour at the moment is it is only 1-0 and we have created some chances. We're a little bit unlucky to not be ahead, and I hope it's just first day of the season nerves for some of these players who've never played at this level before. But we've had some big misses today, and we're not exactly throwing men forward at this point, are we? We're not putting much in the way of pressure on. There's Nadat. Look at that. What a save. Flying across his penalty area. He needs to get his shorts muddy for this second half. And Omar still looks massive. I don't know how tall he is, but he looked enormous 2 years ago when he first broke into the team, and he still looks massive now. And that's 2-0 to Plymouth. And I think, as a lot of you said, you were surprised how competitive we were in League Two with this squad, because it didn't look good enough for League Two, or certainly not to get promoted from League Two. And we haven't really strengthened the first team at all. If anything, by losing Darwin and Cedrin Scott, we've weakened the first team squad. And this might be a long season that I'm really looking forward to. I really hope we sign some decent loanees. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Don't forget, if you're watching this video when it first comes out, keep an eye on the channel all day tomorrow for live streams of my matches from the FM WEC over at Insomnia. They'll be the only videos tomorrow, so if I don't get that working, there'll be nothing tomorrow. I don't have anything else scheduled. But there should be at least sort of 3 or 4 of those videos, maybe more, if I have a deep run in the competition that will just sort of appear throughout the day as little mini live streams. So hopefully I'll see you over there. And thank you very much for watching.